Ladies and gentlemen, here we go again with another potential hurricane hitting the Gulf Coast of the United States. This story just popped up on my notification, and I just couldn't believe what I was looking at. But let me go ahead and get into this story. Tropical storm Nate expected to form and may strike U.S. Gulf Coast as a hurricane Sunday. And it's not hard to believe, I guess, in terms of how a hurricane is out there again, because the ocean waters are very warm this time of the year. And as long as they remain warm, it's going to fuel the hurricane. And this is why so many of them are making landfall at a 4 and 5 category. And this is an actual radar shot. So you can see it. It's over the Caribbean right now. A festering mass of thunderstorms in the southwestern Caribbean has gradually become a better organized and was declared the 16th tropical depression of the Atlantic hurricane season Wednesday morning by the National Hurricane Center. The depression is likely to become the season's 14th named storm called Nate very soon. The depression could strengthen substantially over the coming days and make landfall along the U.S. Gulf Coast between Louisiana and Florida West Coast late Sunday as a hurricane. New Orleans, Mobile, Alabama, Pensacola, Florida, Apalachicola, Florida, and even Tampa are among population centers the system could directly impact. The system is forecast to continue strengthening over the Gulf of Mexico and could affect portions of the North Gulf Coast as a hurricane this weekend, with direct impacts from wind, storm surge, and heavy rainfall, the National Hurricane Center said Wednesday. However, it's too early to specify the timing or magnitude of these impacts. And here's the path that they're saying it's going to go on. So right now it's around Nicaragua, and it will pass Honduras, Mexico, and then right into the Gulf of Mexico. And you can see the areas right here. Alabama, Georgia, Florida, look like northern part of Florida, and the Carolinas, and even parts of Virginia. I can't believe this is happening again. I can't believe it, y'all. Currently, the center of East Nicaragua, the depression is expected to drift northwestward near the coastline of Nicaragua and Honduras Thursday, where the tropical storm warnings are in effect. Rainfall of 15 to 20 inches with locally higher amounts are predicted in parts of Nicaragua. On Friday, computer models forecast it to pass over the Yucatan Peninsula near Cancun, or just to the east through the Yucatan Channel between the Yucatan Peninsula and Cuba. It should reach the Gulf of Mexico by late Friday and pick up speeds as it moves northward or northeastward Saturday. By Sunday, it's likely to be bearing down on the Gulf Coast. Because the system may interact with some land, including Nicaragua and Honduras, and then perhaps the Yucatan Peninsula, the intensity forecast is very difficult. However, there is some potential for it to intensify rapidly. And you can see in this map, this is the sea, and it's showing you in the red what parts of the sea is still very warm. So this thing is no telling what kind of impact it's going to make when it comes into the Gulf. The sea surface temperature, which serves as fuel for tropical weather systems, are very high from the southwest Caribbean to the Yucatan Channel and into northeastern Gulf of Mexico, generally 0.5 to 2 degrees above normal. And that water is awfully warm. Wow. Furthermore, ocean heat content, a measure of the depth of water, warm water, is also very high in this region, the highest of any part of the Atlantic Ocean basin. So it's right here. Wow. Vertical wind shear, which can disrupt storm development, is not high. Another factor in the system's favor. Okay. Given all these factors, it is almost a given that this will become a tropical storm. The question is where the ceiling lies for its strength. Rapid intensification is a possibility over the northwestern Caribbean or southern Gulf of Mexico, while in the system traversing rather warm and deep waters, although it remains to be seen how separate the depression becomes from a larger gyre over Central America, the National Hurricane Center said Wednesday. Models mostly do not predict this to become a hurricane. They mainly cap it as a strong tropical storm, perhaps because the interaction with land and perhaps some dry air feeding into the system. However, the National Hurricane Center official forecast is for this depression to make landfall along the Gulf Coast as a Category 1 hurricane Sunday. So any of you that live in those areas, even if you think it's not going to be a big deal, it might not hurt if you make a visit to the grocery store and get all of the supplies you need to get yourself prepared. Expect this intensity forecast to evolve as the system develops and models and forecasters get a better handle on how it is interacting with the environment. All right. One thing I do want to say, and I've been wanting to say this for a while, in the Bible, I was reading Exodus. I love the book of Exodus. It's just one of those books in the Old Testament that I really love. And, everybody used to laugh and say, when I was around certain people that I don't hang around with anymore, used to say, oh, that story is fake. How could anybody part the sea? But I think Hurricane Irma, when the water receded in the ocean, it showed us exactly how it was possibly done back in the book of Exodus. So no more claims that it's impossible for that to happen when we have saw it with a hurricane, not one, but in multiple places, even in places in the Caribbean, water receded and people literally could walk on the ocean floor. So for you to say that it's impossible, I think the Most High showed us how possible it was by making it happen right before our eyes. We're going to see a lot of amazing things in these last days, ladies and gentlemen. We just are. We're seeing a lot of amazing things now. But please, if you live in those areas, just keep your eye on this system. It's better safe than sorry. And it's better to be prepared than and not have any plans at all. So you still have time. And that's the good part. Please leave your comment and subscribe. And if you can donate to my channel, please do. Peace, family.